We're on no volume. We can't hear it. I think maybe it's because there's that on and off switch. Turn off.
There we go.
They can see it, by the way. We can flip it.
Can. Yes. Oops. Hi, Alex.
Oh, she's on mute.
I can't hear.
Yeah, they're all working. They're working on audio right now. Hi, Karen.
Hey. Hey, Mom's here.
We could start a video too.
They're on doors.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, we're live! Yay! That was welcome, everyone. There's a big screen off to the side and a camera on right now. But,
Now you've gone away.
welcome. What?
Your voice was really loud, so it must have been picked up here on this mic, but now you're being picked up on the faraway camera.
How about now?
Now it's great. I'll go back on mute.
Amazing. It's a process, you know. But thanks y'all for joining me for my very first charcuterie board class. Thank you. I've been making these for a little while, and I've had a bunch of people ask me how to do them, and I've been making more throughout quarantine because I was bored. So hence, Alex is bored. But yeah, let's get started. Who here is making a board with? Anyone making a board? Yes! Okay, so I always like to start off with I have 3 little bowls here. I have some bowls that are I have 2 different spreads. Now, like I said, you might have a slightly different array of things that you are choosing from, but I chose to do a fig spread and a sour cherry spread. And so I'm going to take 2 of my little ramekins and I'm going to place them on the board how I would like to. Hi, Naomi. And I normally like to do it. Down.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear? Oh, man. Hold on. This is going so well.
Maybe they can hear you.
How about now?
I can hear you.
Yes, great. We're having some slight audio issues. I found out today that I was going to have a microphone on me. So extra fun. I like to put the ramekins kind of in a triangle pattern because then it gives you a little bit more depth to your board and a few more patterns to choose from. So take one of your spreads and start putting it into one of your ramekins. Is that a seed in it? So this is my, this is a sour cherry spread that I like to use, and just float it throughout the bowl so that way it's covered and pretty, like so. Boop, boop, boop. And then my other spread that I'm using today is a fig spread. And I'm going to take that and put it into the other ramekin. No one's saying anything, so I think they can. All right. And these will help you build your board around everything else. So it's nice to get them out of the way first. Perfect. Once you have your ramekins filled, I'm going to slow down a little bit because I see some people still doing it. So once you have your ramekins filled, time to start putting on the cheese. The cheese should always be one of the first things that you put on the board because you're going to arrange things around it. So I like keeping my brie very much so in the triangle pattern that it is. So I'm going to put that one with the wide part towards the center, like so. Let's do this. And it's an organizing pattern. Sometimes you rearrange while you are starting to plate and you reorganize. And that's why putting the cheese down first is a great way to start. Let's see. Hi, people. Hi, friends that are just joining. I'm going to do it this way. That feels right. Yep. It's organized, reorganizing. I've never had to do this while talking to people. I'm always like, I'm going to move this here. No, it's going to go here. No, it's going to go here. All right. So once you have your brie on your plate, I'm going to take my Parmesan, and it's my big block. I have a, hi, Jameson. This is a balsamic Parmesan that I'm choosing. It's a little bit creamier, so I can cut it without it crumbling. And I'm going to cut it square diagonal or straight down the cheese so that it's a little bit thinner. Now, the best part about this is most of this stuff will last you for like 2 full boards if you wanted to. This is like your average like 2 to 4 person, like I'm going to nibble on you throughout the day kind of board, or for dinner. And then I'm going to put this one flat down right about yeah, right about there. Then you're going to take your Gouda, if you got Gouda, or any sliceable cheese. I'm going to wipe this down really quick. Hold on. Clean it so it doesn't taste like Parmesan. And then I'm going to peel off. I have this wax around my cheese, so I'm just going to peel it off. Boop, boop, boop. And then I'm going to slice it into, here, I'll move this. Slice it down. So we have nice, even like sticks of it. And these will help so that way you can arrange them very differently than the rest of your cheeses, which are going to be left more in our little triangles.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please ask a question.
So, so in general, when you're making your cheeses, do you purposefully cut all of your cheeses differently?
Yes, I try to cut all of them different so that it makes everything look very different, so that way you can pinpoint, this is the Parmesan, this is the brie, this is.
Okay.
And now I'm going to take those and I'm going to find a cute little puddle, is what I call them. Find a puddle on your board where you can place them. They don't have to be in order. Actually, the more piled up they look, this one kind of looks like a campfire, I guess, if I was going to put a name to what it looks like. Looks like a cute little campfire, just like this. Then I chose to do a white cheddar because I always like having a cheese that kind of crumbles. So I'm just going to cut that down. There we go. And I'm just going to break it apart with my hands. And it should crumble really nicely. And I'm going to find another puddle for that. Yeah, I'm going to put my puddle over here in this corner. A lot of it's all about taking artistic liberties with this all and figuring out what works best for your board. This one is just a square board, so it provides slightly different layout than if you had a rectangular one.
What cheese are you breaking up?
What'd you say?
What cheese are you breaking up right now?
This is my white cheddar. So this works with cheddar. It works with a lot of Parmesans. I tend to like Parmesan creamier, so that way I can slice it. But this will work like any sort of like Beecher's cheese that you have or white cheddar. You should be able to break it up, and it kind of provides a nice contrast to the regularly sliced or spread cheese. And I'm just making a nice little, like I said, puddle. And we're gonna call that one good. That's a lot of cheddar. Wash my hands. All right. And it looks like so. We have a nice little puddle of all of our cheeses. Those are all laid out now. So now the next thing that we're going to want to focus on is our meats. I chose to do a salami. Anytime you have a circular meat like this, we're going to make what's called the Salami River. And you can, don't laugh at me, it's real. We're going to make the Salami River. And those, it's perfect when you have your ramekins out because you can wind it through your board like a little river. So mine, now this is the part where you have to look at your cheese and say, where do I actually want you? So I can move my board around. Thank you for your enjoyment of that. Let's put it right. Oh, there we go. Okay. See, it's all a process. All right. So to make the Salami River, you're going to take your little guy and you're going to fold it in half and then fold it in half again. And you're going to have a little triangle. And you're just going to repeat doing that, but you have to keep holding it because it will open. So you fold it in half, fold it again. Now, the fun part is you are going to lay them separately. So like they're like a bow and just lay them on top of each other so that they are alternating. This provides it so that way it won't fall down or, yes, Naomi.
Can I get a close-up of that somehow?
Yes, we have lots of cameras on me, so we can make that happen.
Oh, okay, yes, thank you. So wait, so it's
I have to thank while we're, what?
No, that's great, thank you.
Okay, sorry, I was looking at the wrong camera. While we are paused making a more zoomed in version, I have to thank the production crew that's over here. That made this such a cooler thing than I thought it was going to be. Nathan and Trisha. with all their lights and cameras and Nathan's very pretty kitchen so that I'm not in my studio apartment trying to show you how to do this. So you're gonna take it and it's gonna put it together like a bow. So you're gonna want to angle them on top of each other so that they alternate. This one, this camera now. Yeah, and then you're just gonna keep repeating. Fold it in half and a half again and alternate. This is the longest process, I will say, out of everything that you're gonna do. How's everyone's days going while we're folding salami?
Apparently quiet.
Apparently it's going very quiet or everyone's concentrating. I'm having a great day.
You're asking them to fold meat.
I'm asking them to fold meat and talk at the same time. I know, I just didn't want it to be an awkward silence for anyone.
Awesome.
And then basically you're just gonna keep doing this for a while till you got a chunk that your hand really can't hold anymore. Okay. And then once you've started, you're gonna find a place on your board that you want it to start from. Have a clear idea where you want it to start and where you want it to end. Mine is going to curve from my cheddar, the cheddar puddle. It's gonna curve around the fig and go by the Gouda to this other side. So it's gonna be a nice squiggle through my board. I'm gonna start it right over here. Let's see, there we go. And you're just gonna lay it down. Here, I'll show you. You're just gonna lay it down, and because it's alternating, it's holding itself up. And salami is, and because you've pressed it together, it has a, like, I guess, a memory fold. So it stays folded. And this is gonna, yeah, truly, this will take the longest out of everything that you will do. I made one for my friend Jen the other day. Jen's on here. And it definitely took a very long time. Hi, Tanisha.
Can't hear you yet.
Well, she can't hear me yet, but hi, Tanisha. Welcome. All right. We're just folding the Salami River to catch you up. Yeah, just keep folding. It's a fun time. Yeah, so the tighter you can hold it while it's waiting, while you're waiting to plate it, the better off it will stay together and stay standing for you, and we'll have a nice ripple effect. I wish I had a trick on how this can go faster, this part, but it takes time. Let's see. So now I'm going to start the curving process. Start curving it around the ramekin and through the brie. To Grandma's house we go. I need to put this away. More people are texting me. And as you're folding, start looking at your board and thinking the next part that we're going to focus on is the produce part. We're going to start on the produce section. So I have strawberries, and I'm a big berry fan, especially with cheese. So I have lots of berries. I usually do apples, but this week I'm going to try kiwis for the color difference.
Question?
Yes.
If we are using a second meat product, should we be doing that at the same time now?
Yes, what kind of meat product are you using?
I want to use, oops, I've got the salami and I have some prosciutto.
Oh,
Oh,
prosciutto.
that way.
So if you take it in the center, fun tip, if you want to make prosciutto roses, you can.
I can.
And if anyone else is using prosciutto, they can. I'm not a big prosciutto fan, so I wasn't making it on this board. But if you take it, lay it out on a plate, and then you grab it from the center and twist, it'll twist into a nice little rose for you, and you can put them, disperse them throughout your plate.
Okay, I'll try that.
All right. So the next one's starting. Space it out a little bit more, or else I'm going to run out of salami. And I'm just winding it around my board. And sometimes you might have to rearrange your cheese. Huh? Yes, where should I turn it?
Turn 1/4 to me, toward me. No, other way.
Other way.
There we go.
There we go. Yep, we're just winding it around. The fun part about this is that this is the #1 compliment I get when I do my boards is how it's laid out, particularly the Salami River. But and then it's fun to tell them what it's called, you know. Almost there. I so appreciate all of you coming on to this board making class. I had a few people that had said that they were interested, and I didn't actually think it was ever going to be this popular, so I'm really excited. Which camera am I? I'm looking at that one. Yeah, so I'm really excited. You know, it's one of my favorite things to bring to a party or to just make for yourself, especially in quarantine. You feel a little bit fancier when you're having one. And then I feel fancier like I don't normally look like this. I'm in my sweatpants normally. So it's really fun to have when you're in your sweatpants as well, because you feel a little bit more elevated. All right, I am almost done. Last piece. All right. And then I'm just going to finish winding it around my board. It's going to end just right over here. And now you have a nice squiggle throughout your board, which is called the Salami River. My hands are too meaty. All right, so the next part is going on to produce. So I have my other tiny cutting board. As I suggested, sometimes you might want a second cutting board, so that way I'll move the cheese board out. We don't need that anymore. So that way you don't get your presentational board all dirty. Here we go. All right, so once you have your berries, I pre-washed them and I plated them for us all. You're gonna take your if you have strawberries or whatever kind of berries you have. I like strawberries because they add a nice red to the board, but you cut them straight down the middle and they look like little hearts. So you cut those up and you only need a few. I always like to have some extras on hand so that way I can always add to the board if that's what's running out or whatnot. Tends to be one of the more popular things. And then once all of your strawberries are cut, you're going to start laying them throughout your board. Now, with these, you kind of want, the fun part about them is that they are so colorful. So finding spots on your board where you might be lacking color. So I try to not put these like near the meat because that's red. I'm gonna put these and I angle them on each other. So that way they are always showing. And I always keep the green stems on because it always adds a nice little batch of color as well. And just finding little nooks and crannies for them to fit in. Sometimes I'll face one of them the other way just for slight variation. Put this one right there. And I'll eat this one later because I don't want to find a spot for it now. All right, then I chose to do kiwis today. There is a fun, fancy way that you can do a presentational kiwi. So you can either just cut it straight in half, but one of my favorite techniques is you find the center, find where you kind of want the center of the kiwi, and I make a little mark for myself, and then cut it in diagonally. And you're gonna make it almost like it has teeth. And you're just gonna do that all the way around the kiwi. Can everyone see what I'm doing? You're just gonna cut it in little, so it has like little teeth.
Like a little cracked egg, kind of. I can.
Yeah, like a little cracked egg.
Okay. All right.
And then you just go in slightly halfway. It's normally not gonna cut all the way through, unless you really go for it. Then you could cut it all the way through, but I'm choosing not to. And then it should only be one more cut. There we go. And it should be pretty loose, and then you just pull it apart. And now your kiwi looks nice and fancy, as if you were at a fancy hotel brunch. That's always my MO, to make things look like a fancy hotel brunch. Find spots for that on your board. The green is really nice because it adds such a pop of color. Also, kiwi and cheddar taste very good together. It's very yummy. I found that out recently. And then I have blackberries and blueberries. And this is a fun, I tried to go with Memorial Day themed colors. So like some reds and blues. And all my cheese is white. So just find little pockets for your berries. Now you don't want to fill up too much. You just want like 3 to 4 in every spot. So that way you still have room for your crackers, which is the next thing that we're going to go into. Boop. Maybe I'll put it right there. So I've just found little pockets for the blackberries. And same thing with your blueberries. Do the same thing. This is the perfect, blueberries are the perfect way to fill those little cracks in things in your cheese board. And I'm not normally someone that likes their food to touch. Some people on this call can attest to that, but Maggie's laughing, she knows. But this is the perfect place to be able to do that because it's for art. So I can do that. I can put up with that. And it makes sure that no spot on your board goes unused. All right, now I also said that if you wanted to add, I know Karen was asking about tomatoes, but these are just some sun-dried tomatoes. And I'm gonna put them in my final unfilled ramekin. These are perfect with the Parmesan and crackers. There we go. Just putting in a few of them just adds a little bit of extra color. Some produce that isn't berries for me. And shoop. I also like sound effects, but I don't like artificial ones. They have to be made by yourself. All right. Whoop, whoop. Perfect. Okay, so now that all the produce is on your plate, You're now gonna start with your crackers or breads. I like a mixture of crunchy and soft. So I have this cute little sourdough bowl. And I prefer sourdough bowls because they tend to be softer than if I buy like a loaf of it. And just break that up. Because at this point in quarantine, we're animals. So that's what I've become. I'm just gonna break it up. Break it up into tiny chunks and then find little spots on your board. Again, there's still some stuff that's going to go on the board. So even though it seems full, just squish it in there. And, oh, it fell in the jam. It's going well. And the nice part about the bread and crackers is that you can also put it on a separate plate for like extras. You just want a few of them on the board to make it look extra pretty and nice. It's up there now. And then these I call crackers, but they're from Trader Joe's. And they're just literally sourdough bread baked with Parmesan on them. Oh, holding it. Holding. There we go. I was told to hold. So you're gonna take some of your extra crunchy things. I'm gonna break this apart because it's a little bit long. This is fun to be able to find little stand up. It gives a little bit of depth to your board. Let's see. Yeah, like that. It's going insane. Nope, stay here. Apparently I became popular as soon as this started. My phone's blowing up. Finding little spots here and there for those to go. And last one, let's put you right there.
So pretty.
Thanks. I'm gonna move these out of the way so it's even prettier. All right, then I'm gonna take my last batch of crackers and I'm gonna find little spots for them. Sometimes it's fun to, if you feel like extra organizing, to take them and make them, some of them shorter, some of them longer, so that way you can create a little bit more texture on the board. I'm gonna lay mine out like a fan. There we go. And finding, again, the whole time that you're making this, you're gonna be moving the cheese around to make everything fit around it.
Can I ask a general rule for how you set this up?
Please ask a general rule.
Okay, so I see that you're kind of moving pieces around other pieces. What are when you're designing this tray, what is it exactly that you are, what are the things that you know are set and then you kind of move around? It's what are the things you revolve around?
So the things revolve around the ramekins and the cheese, and I tend to just slightly shift the cheese or shift things over just so that way I can make a little bit of space. Like for these crackers, if I just shift everything over by a slight little push, then I can fit everything I need to. And it just makes sure that there's less nooks and crannies that have not been filled by food, if that makes sense. That answer your question?
Well, I see the Salami River is kind of a dominant piece where it kind of has to stay in that position. And the
yes.
bowls need to stay in the position. So I feel like everything else is kind of fit inside of that.
Yeah, so the bowls are what really shape where the salami is gonna go. And because that is such a delicate portion of it and it took the most time, I'm gonna put precedence over it. But yeah, any shifting that you need to do, anything can move really, but I tend to keep the ramekins and the salami tends to be pretty stable, doesn't move much. And now if you have like nuts or dried fruit, I'm using apricots and candied pecans today. These are two of the last things besides our dressing that we're going to use. To open this. But finding little spots to overlay this. So I'm going to take the apricots, and again, they just provide a nice match of color. And using these and your nuts to fill any final nooks and crannies on the board. Sometimes it will kind of spill off the board, not like onto the table, but like slightly off. As you can see, it's expanded past my board. It also keeps your crackers and everything standing up where you want them, and finding just little puddles for those. I tend to use the dried fruit on the outside, and then the nuts fill cracks on the inside. And pecans are my favorite type of nut, so that's what I'm using today. Finding little spots. The key to a good charcuterie board is just finding every nook and cranny that you can and filling it so that there isn't any empty space. And making it photo worthy, because then you're going to eat it. You always want to take a picture of it, and then you're going to eat it and destroy it, and it's fine. And there we go. So once I have all the last bits of things on the board, just going to clear the space slightly. Then I'm going to put, I always take like thyme or rosemary or mint and put little sprigs. Sometimes you can do flowers depending on, you know, if it's from your garden, you know what's sprayed on it, obviously. But sometimes flowers can be nice to decorate around. I've used baby's breath before, but today I'm going to use mint and thyme, fresh mint and thyme. And these ones are kind of curved, so I just kind of open up the leaves, make sure that they are nice and pretty. It also provides a nice smell for your board too. I mean, everything on your board smells good, but especially mint and thyme. And you're finding little nooks and crannies for those to fit around. I tend to fit them around my ramekins or coming out of the cheese. Mint tends to be around things more so, and then I use everything else I use the thyme for sticking out of everywhere else. Cut that, that's too much. And you can adjust the leaves as you go. And then I'm going to take the thyme and just taking little sprigs and popping them in to tiny corners. And that just is a nice dressing for any of your boards. Let's see. And there you have your finished cheese board. So this is mine. I found every nook and cranny and tried to divide up color so that every little section was popping. And yeah, that's how you make a charcuterie board. And this is kind of more of my basic board that I would bring anywhere to a party. But yeah. So thanks for joining. If you want to show, if you made your board, feel free to show it on here or take a picture and tag me so that I can make sure I see it. Yes, Karen, look at that board. It's perfect. I love it. Nice job, everyone. But yeah, thank you for joining me on my very first, as I was telling Nathan prior, I was like, I've never talked through this. It's always like, oh, well, this will go here. That doesn't work. Right here. And it's a lot of playing around with it and also getting to know different cheeses. I always try to stick with 3 that I know, 2 or 3 cheeses that I know that I like and will be happy with. And then I try one random cheese. Oh, look at that. She's on the big screen now. I see it. But yeah, the board.
Gigi wants the meat and cheese.
That sounds about right. If Mildred was here, she would be on it, literally sitting on the board. But thank you, everyone. I hope let me know if you have any other questions or anything else. But otherwise, once you've taken a picture, dig into your board and maybe share it, maybe don't, depending on how you're feeling. But yeah.
Wine.
Oh yeah, you could finish it with wine if you wanted. I have to drive and I'm going to another happy hour, so I will be not indulging now.
Are you
Alex?
Yes.
your ideas in the future?
Yeah, so I'm hoping, I mean, if you guys are interested, and I know that there's a giant group on Facebook that's interested, and some people can make it today, but are getting the recording. But my hope is to maybe do one of these a month and with different themed boards. I'm thinking that the next one may be a Mediterranean themed board with like feta and honey and olives. And hummus, yep, me too. So your boards can be as savory as you want or sweet. I was also thinking of I've made a dessert board before, or like brunch pancake boards are really fun too. Instead of a salami river, it's a pancake river, which is extra exciting because it's pancakes. But there's all sorts of themes, and definitely like I've made one that was some of you have seen it, but it was a Christmas party themed board. And so it had more like pomegranates and cranberries and trying to make it themed for whatever holiday you're going to or different party. But it's kind of my thought, making a different themed boards, or if you guys have any ideas, that's always fun too. Otherwise, I'll be making them for myself and no one else gets to enjoy them. So why not? Why not make them on here and we can make them together? But
Maggie,
yeah.
would Maggie show us her prosciutto rose? I'd like to see how it worked.
Oh,
Please.
Maggie, you're muted.
Maggie, you're on mute.
Unmute, sure. I would love to. Here's the board.
Oh, look at how pretty it is.
Nice.
I made some peppadews with some
Goat cheese.
cheese. Thank you. More cheese. They turned out okay. Basically, I just squished it because it was sliced so thin that it didn't want to turn. So I just sort of like did what you were doing.
And that works too. You can pinch it and layer it out however you want to split. That's the nice part about prosciutto, though. It does formed however you want it to.
Oh,
once you have it off.
So thanks. That was awesome. This is fun.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining, Elena. I wasn't sure if you were going to be able to.
Yeah, I'm new to this, so this is my very first Zoom, so that's why. Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you, guys. This is wonderful.
Welcome to
Yeah,
Zoom.
thank you. Thanks, Erin. And thanks, Sophia. Tell Bella I say hi. And thank you, everyone else, for joining. It was so much fun to be able to do this. I've never been able to talk through it, like I said, so this has definitely been a learning experience for me, too. And thank you, Nathan and Trisha, for doing such an advanced setup.
Yeah.
Was not prepared for that, but they're very excited to eat the board now that we've made.
They weren't working for free.
They weren't working for free.
I work for cheese.
Well, huh?
That's right.
Yeah, we'll work for cheese. Hi, Jen.
Hi, thank you. That was so fun.
Yeah, thanks for joining. But
Well done. Good job.
thanks. Thanks
I'm
for
gonna
coming
go.
on, Tanisha.
Yeah, sorry I was a little late. I was still filming. Ah.
Love
Oh,
it.
somebody put little
I
hands
think
in the corner.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks, Maggie. I hope you and Clint enjoy it.
Oh, we shall. Thanks, babe. We'll see you later.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
And Naomi, tell Jameson thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Alex.
Sounds about right.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.